Tzu Chi volunteers send mealboxes and anti-epidemic materials to Dewu community to care for the elders. The nursing team of Dalin Tzu Chi Hospital dedicated ward cares patients with a loving heart to relieve their anxiety. 歡迎收睇DaAi Headlines， 我係 Ruby 我哋一齊嚟睇下今日嘅內容。Tzu Chi Foundation has been cooperating with the Yuli Dewu Lingya Cultural Health Station to deliver meal boxes to the elders in tribal villages, and this service still continues during the pandemic. Tzu Chi volunteers also prepared care packages and masks to care for the residents at the Dewu community.
Boxes of materials were loaded onto the truck and set off from Jingsi abode, ready to go to the cultural health station of Dewu Aboriginal tribe in Yuli. After driving for nearly 2 hours, the care boxes, masks, and other anti-epidemic material finally arrived and will be sent to the elders' home through caregivers.
Due to the pandemic, many children have no way to come back home to take care of their parents. We have not been able to work at the cultural health station recently either. Elderly people often tell us that they can't go out to buy any stuff.
The caregivers are busy preparing lunches. This is a food delivery service in cooperation between Tzu Chi Foundation and local cultural health station. During the pandemic, caring activities carry on.
Tzu Chi Foundation has piloted 4 food delivery places in Yuli Dewu Lingya. Cultural Health Station is the tribe that we usually care about, and that is why we have been doing this delivery service.
The 80-year-old Grandma Wang, who lives alone, saw a familiar figure showing her care, and she shed moving tears while saying thanks.
Thank you for the materials donated by Tzu Chi. We will immediately send all the materials to the elders' home so that they can use them with peace of mind.
During the pandemic, the delivery of meals and warmth made the elders living in the tribe feel at ease.
To tide over the pandemic difficulties and ensure disadvantaged school children have enough nutrition during the summer vacation, 12 counties and city governments cooperate with the Tzu Chi Foundation to provide more than 48,000 disadvantaged households with living supplies twice during the summer, including fresh fruits and vegetables, together with nutritious dry food. This event has started in Keelung City, and Tzu Chi volunteers went to the Keelung Fruit and Vegetable Wholesales market to help pack the boxes. Outside the Keelung Fruit and Vegetable Wholesale Market, thousands of taxis are rarely parked. When entering the market, which is usually closed on Monday, it's crowded with people and carts. Boxes of supplies are being transferred to taxi. This is a collaboration between the Tzu Chi Foundation and Keelung City government to provide care packages and healthy fruit and vegetable boxes, which contain nutritious products such as multigrain powder. And volunteers specially come to the fruit and vegetable market to pack fruit and vegetable boxes. This group of taxi drivers are indispensable in this operation. To tide over the difficulties and protect the disadvantaged school children, taxi drivers do not carry passengers on this day, but deliver the supplies to 1,640 disadvantaged households with school children.
Summer vacation is about to begin. Thank you, Tzu Chi brothers and sisters, for solving the food problems of more than 1,600 kids in Keelung.
Taxi full of supplies set off to the homes of disadvantaged children. Under the pandemic, the relay of love is still continuous and uninterrupted. In the previous loving event, nearly 100 taxi drivers also joined to deliver the fruit and vegetable boxes and care packages to 1,640 disadvantaged families in Keelung, relieving their living burden temporarily. On Monday, which is a usual holiday, the Keelung Fruit and Vegetable Wholesales Market is extremely busy. At dawn, the fruit and vegetable vendors and workers were divided into 10 groups to inspect, pack and place 18 kinds of fresh fruits and vegetables according to the administrative region.
We just hope that the disadvantaged children in Keelung can feel at ease and have good nutritious food to enjoy at home during the summer vacation. There are more than 100 volunteers here to help pack the veggie boxes and transport them. I think during the epidemic prevention period, there's actually an act of great love, which is especially warm.
This is a nutritional relief plan jointly organized by the various counties and city governments as well as the Tzu Chi Foundation. The first distribution stop starts from Keelung. Keelung area has mobilized group caterers and nearly 100 taxis, which are to take on the task of express delivery.
Because there is a problem of keeping the healthy fruits and vegetables fresh, so we are hoping to deliver the veggie box to the households on the same day. Therefore, we discussed with the Keelung City government before and invited taxi drivers to participate in this grand event. Because of the pandemic, people seldom go out. So through this event, we hope that taxi drivers can have some income.
As the business is not good, it's fine to serve here, right? It's not having to carry the boxes. It's also hard to sit in a taxi all day, right? So I treat moving boxes as doing exercise.
The air conditioning in the taxi has turned to the strongest to deliver the healthy fruits and vegetable boxes and care packages. The destination is the Xinyi district of Keelung. Mr. Zhang originally worked as a real estate agent and is with his only son who is in the 7th grade. Last year, he suffered from nasopharyngeal cancer. After undergoing several rounds of chemotherapies, his physical strength was not as good as before, and his income has dropped significantly during the pandemic. The fresh veggies, rice and multigrain powder he received have temporarily relieved his living burden.
Sometimes I get dizzy. With these supplies, I really do not have to go out. I haven't gone out during the epidemic prevention period. I just dumped the garbage downstairs. I really didn't go out.
Nearly 100 taxis shuttle through the streets and alleys of Keelung, delivering 1,640 supplies in 3 trips. It is hoped that disadvantaged families will have no worries about food during the summer vacation. This action will be carried out in 12 counties and cities one after another. It is estimated that 48,700 families will receive this dedicated gift of love. Since the COVID pandemic broke out domestically in mid-May, the Hualien Tzu Chi Medical Center has mobilized 34 second-line units to support 22 service areas in total, supporting the frontline staff so as to maintain normal medical capacity.
The virus mutates again and again, becoming more and more infectious and transmits faster. Taiwan also faces new challenges.
In mid-May, as media reported, the pandemic continued to heat up and the demand for medical service continued to exist. So we were thinking about what second-line units can do to provide medical assistance.
There's indeed an increased number of Hualien folks returning to Hualien from other places. If anyone has doubts, please go to the 4 designated hospitals in Hualien to undergo screening tests.
I have seen many patients here, enduring physical pain and are willing to cooperate with Tzu Chi Hospital to do screening. I am honored to be the frontline staff to protect the hospital colleagues and safeguard the health of the people in Hualien and Taidong.
Infection control and management is a unit related to the pandemic and became even more busy now. At this critical moment, I am able to share part of its duties. Infection control unit, hang on. Tzu Chi, hang on. Taiwan, hang on.
We found that many elderly people do not know how to use apps to do video consultation, so we slowly guide them how to download and use it.
Our hospital now provides online appointments to collect medicine, as well as channels for getting chronic prescriptions outside the hospital. This can reduce the time and contact of the patients with the hospital, so the patients are quite happy to accept this service, and they will then make better use of such resources.
It's very safe because I do not need to go into the hospital where it's crowded inside. I can come here to collect medicine. It's very good and very convenient.
The rehabilitation department helps us make thousands of calls a day, so during this pandemic, our service will not be interrupted. We hope that all patients in our hospital will still be well taken care of as before.
The restless medical staff, as well as the laboratory team, worked very hard to guard our home. We are willing to do our best, contributing our little effort and loving care to tide over this difficulty with everyone.
Although it is just a small wheelchair area, working here made me feel so touched. I'm very grateful to the hospital for giving us this opportunity in such a critical moment to contribute our little efforts to serve patients together.
In the hardest moments, the staff of the entire hospital should unite as one to get through this difficult time together.
Being the only medical center in Hualien and Taidong, our task is to protect many severely ill patients. We must also observe the government policies like increasing beds, ICUs, and wards, as well as carrying out screenings for patients and the public. We're very grateful to our colleagues who have guarded this hospital very well.
In the Dalin Tzu Chi Hospital dedicated COVID ward, the nursing team treats patients attentively. They prepared instant noodles from a foreign migrant worker's hometown to help her relieve homesickness. Also, they accompanied a young patient wholeheartedly, making him feel at ease to receive medical treatment. Nurse Yang Jiajia drew cute patterns on the packaging of nutritional drinks, hoping that the little patient would finish it happily to replenish nutrition. The 1-year-old boy was diagnosed and often cried when he first arrived in the ward. The medical team soothed his anxious emotions with cloth balloons. They also sent a thermos bottle to his parents for making formula milk.
When they see the food from their hometown, I believe they should feel very warm.
A foreign migrant worker is especially homesick in the ward. The nursing staff pays out of their own pockets to buy instant noodles and snacks, and even the patient's favorite spicy sauce for her. A small change in the diet makes the patient a big surprise. Dalin Tzu Chi Hospital's dedicated ward consists of more than 20 nurses from different departments, but all bear the same belief.
Since several recovered patients discharged from the hospital, this is actually our greatest sense of accomplishment.
On the PPE equipment, we have written some cheering words to encourage them.
Being able to make them happy, the efforts are relatively worthwhile.
This group of nursing staff treat patients as their family members. No matter how subtle things they are, as long as one does it with a loving heart, the patient can feel the loving care. Ms. Tan, who was a confirmed COVID-19 patient, was first admitted to the ICU under endotracheal intubation. When she transferred out of the ICU, she experienced confusion of her surroundings and was unable to eat on her own. To help the patient recover fully, the nurses spoon-fed her, helping her practice eating and swallowing. Thankfully, she made a full recovery and was discharged from the hospital.
A nurse holds a bowl and spoon feeds this patient who was just transferred out of the ICU. Miss Jen was intubated for a week during treatment, and her swallowing function was affected. She needed the nurse's assistance to intake food physically.
During mealtime, either at dinner or breakfast, we will arrange for someone to feed her to help retrain her to eat food and swallow. We hope each patient receives the best care possible.
Miss Jen had no sense of time or space in the beginning when she left ICU, and her muscle atrophy hindered her from taking care of herself. Thankfully, the medical staff helped in whatever way possible.
Confusion is normal because she was in the ICU and under the lighting and monitor machine 24 hours a day. She might not have the ability to flip over in bed or get out, so in recovery she improved each day.
2 weeks after she regained consciousness, she was able to get out of bed to do rehabilitation exercises, and a month later, she achieved the recovery standard to be discharged. When she left, she asked to take a picture with the medical staff to remember their care for her during her days in the hospital.
A borough head of New Taipei City contracted COVID at the end of May, and he and his wife were quarantined at home together. His wife unfortunately passed away during isolation. He endured the pain of losing his wife and was admitted to Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital for treatment. Finally, he recovered and discharged. The hospital's superintendent sent him the most sincere blessings on behalf of Master Zheng Yan.
After 18 days of treatment, the borough head from Shiding district, who was infected with COVID, is about to be discharged from the hospital.
He wasn't like the other patients where they are normally depressed or anxious about the illness, or sometimes they may be lying in bed all day. But when we check from the monitor, he gets up and moves around and won't lie in bed all day. So in the process of taking care of him, I feel that he is a very positive person.
After this patient defeated the virus, the superintendent, on the behalf of the hospital and Master Zheng Yan, sent the most sincere blessings.
Today I also represent Master Zheng Yan to give you the most sincere blessings. There is a blessing letter and a string of Buddhist beads to bless you.
Thanks to our superintendent for leading the medical team. During this time, more than 10 days, I can be reborn very smoothly. I hope that the pandemic will end soon.
Because restrictions have not been lifted, everyone still maintains a safe social distance. In the future, it hopes that the borough head can healthily join the volunteer ranks to serve more people.
After the passage of the 3 Types of Experimental Education Act in 2014, a wave of experimental schools sprung up across Taiwan. Among them, the Xinsu Experimental Elementary School in Wulai, New Taipei City, has 28 years of experimental education experience and is a model school for other experimental schools to visit. What is so special about this school? Follow our report as we learn more.
Early in the morning, 9-year-old An Lei is accompanied by her father as she goes to school.
The children are very happy and feel very free here.
On the school bus arriving at the Garden City stop in Xindian, An Lei and the students from the experimental elementary school got on the bus one after another. Every morning at 8 o'clock in the morning, students of Xinxian Experimental Elementary School take a bus along this beautiful mountain road. The trip is full of children's laughter. An Lei shows off her class schedule. She is in the 3rd grade of elementary school and could choose courses like a college student.
Green is a compulsory course, and yellow are courses that we can choose by yourself. This is just like college students who can choose course by themselves.
The class bell rang, but An Lei doesn't have class, but instead free time.
Now you can doze off. 3rd grade requires us to have free time.
As they wander the campus, they found a caterpillar in trouble. Worried that someone would step on it, they hold orange toothbrush in the palm of their hand. After finding the caterpillar's partner, Anlei puts them together and tells them to love each other. The language of these children respects the innocence of life.
There are many things that can be learned during 3 periods. In fact, there are many possibilities for them to explore nature, or they can do more physical fitness.
For the shrew, they chant sutras as students hope that these small animals and insects on campus can grow up happily just like themselves.
We used to be happy during the winter and summer vacations, as we didn't have to go to school. Winter and summer vacation, he didn't go to school. He would cry for me to take him to school.
Children in experimental schools are both active and quiet as they like to play and love to read. There are 3 requirements for experimental schools. Basic skills, including language and mathematics. In addition, 6th graders must do a graduation project and complete a challenge. The 3rd requirement is that all teachers and students of the school must participate in life seminars.
Experimental education takes on many different forms, and some of the results of this type of education can be utilized by regular schools.
Turning back the clock, when Anlei took the bus in the morning, she played too loudly and caused noise. Classmates reminded her she still did not improve, so at noon that day she appeared in student court.
The student court system is when a child feels uncomfortable about something and goes to the administrative office. They take a piece of paper and write it down, and we have a judge to deal with it.
The verdict is a bus warning and apology in court.
对不起，对不起，没关系。
The intention of our court is not to punish or stop what they did, but is to let the kids know how conflicts occur and how do we avoid it next time.
I like going to school because it's fun and there are many interesting things. We have no exams, so we won't feel pressure to study.
From the early days, everyone felt that experimental education seemed to be very different and is not in line with the school system. We can actually see a development in the past few years as regular schools in the system and experimental education can actually appreciate each other.
There is no schoolwork pressure in the experimental education as it gives more respect for the differences of each child. Under the guardianship of these teachers, the laughter of the students is encouraged and cultivated and can be heard echoing across the valley.
Otolaryngologists from Dalin Tzu Chi Hospital personally demonstrated the quick screening test to teach the public how to prevent false negatives. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you and see you next time.